Welcome back, it's great to have you. In today's video, we're going to look at my 7 favorite lessons from Ryan Holiday's Discipline is Destiny and how they can help you on your self-discipline journey. So let's get started. Lesson number 1 is Attack the Dawn. This chapter focuses on best-selling author Toni Morrison in a time in her life when she was working full-time, a single mother of 2 children, but she really had this passion for writing. And so Toni made the choice to get up early every day to prioritize her writing. This was the only time in her schedule where she was free of other responsibilities. There was this great quote, which was, "Be glad you're awake, because it's better than the alternative, which we'll all greet one day." And this chapter isn't saying you need to get up at 2 a.m. like celebrities or executives are telling you to on social media. Because actually later in the book, Holiday talks about the importance of sleep and how without sleep you'll lack the focus to implement self-discipline. But could you get up an hour earlier to think, to read, to write, to work on that hobby you really want to? You probably do. Lesson 2 is Clean Up Your Desk. So Clean Up Your Desk tells the story of a New York City urban planner by the name of Robert Moses. And while the book alludes to the fact that Moses probably wasn't the kindest man who has ever lived, he was really good at his job, and he created countless playgrounds, parkways, exhibition halls in New York City during his tenure. So how did he manage to accomplish so much? Well, he cleaned up his desk. Anything that came to him, he immediately took care of, and he didn't let tasks pile up. And really at the root of Clean Up Your Desk is creating ideal environments. We just talked about Toni Morrison in the last point, but Holiday references her again with another quote that I really liked from this chapter, which was, "Figure out how you best work creatively and create that environment." So how do you best learn? How do you best work? How do you best work out? Design that environment. Moving right along to lesson number 3, which is seek discomfort. So Holiday makes the argument that over time, humans have become more and more accustomed to comfortability. I mean, take the internet alone. We have access to almost anything right at our fingertips. This isn't necessarily all bad. We should take advantage of comfortable environments and comfortable situations. But when we become a little bit too accustomed and too dependent on these comfortable situations, we lose those skills to be uncomfortable. Holiday encourages you to seek out challenges that are achievable only through the process of discomfort. So sign up for a race or go lift heavy weights, take a cold bath. By seeking out this discomfort, we're not only training our bodies, but our mind and soul for when discomfort inevitably finds you, you're not going to fear it. Lesson number 4 is perfectionism is a vice. So this chapter focuses on Martha Graham, who was a choreographer in the 1930s, who was notoriously famous for struggling to finish her dances. And I put finish in quotes here because the chapter later goes on to make a very important distinction between the words done and finished. Done is when the thing you're working on, the piece of writing, the idea at work, the dance, is ready for the world to see. But finished is when the maker of that creative product thinks that it's perfect. The point in making this distinction is to showcase that maybe perfectionism isn't about self-discipline, but self-consciousness, and that we kind of live in fear about how our work is going to be perceived by others. So Martha Graham's dances were always done, but they were never finished. Lesson number 5 is get better every day. And I think this one's pretty self-explanatory, but there were a few quotes that really stuck out to me. The first one being, if you think you have room to grow, you do, and you will. If you think you're as good as you can be, you're right, you won't get better. We can always improve on something, whether it's work or our hobbies or relationships. Really, the list is endless. And for me personally, I get a lot of comfort in the fact that that list is endless because it means I always have something to look forward to. I'll end this one with another quote, which is, by just showing up and committing yourself, you're already way ahead of the pack. The next step is just finding that one thing you can get better at. Lesson number 6 is tolerant with others, strict with yourself. And in a nutshell, this lesson is saying that we have the choice to hold ourselves to a high standard, but we can't put those same expectations on other people. By leading by example, some may choose to follow you and some may not, but ultimately you don't have control over that. And if you think you do have control, really that's only going to lead to you being angry or resentful towards others. And the last lesson, lesson number 7, is be kind to yourself. Pretty straightforward, but again, another powerful one. I like a quote at the beginning of this chapter that says, "You are not perfect, you are not superhuman," which basically means we all make mistakes, and that's okay. I liked the perspective that Holiday uses in this chapter, where it talks about if you make a mistake, how would your friends or family react to that mistake? They're probably not going to beat you up about it, right? They're going to reassure you, and so you need to do the same thing for yourself. And that is all I have for this one. So I highly recommend you checking out Ryan Holiday's book, Discipline is Destiny. We only covered 7 of the lessons that I felt most resonated with me, but there are many, many others in the book that might even better resonate with you. So with that being said, appreciate you. See you soon.